Welcome to Scav Prototype, also known as Casualties Unknown. I'm not entirely sure which is the real name, to be honest. Anyways, it's a game about cave diving where you happen to be a furry, but it's actually way more interesting than that, so let's talk about it. The goal is simple, go as deep as you can. Actually doing it is the hard part. This game has one of the most brutal health systems I've seen. You don't just take damage, you deal with internal bleeding, infected wounds, dislocated joints, fractured bones, and a bunch of other ways your body can fall apart. You need proper rest too, and even the material you sleep on matters. If the surface sucks, your morale tanks. And for whatever reason, the game actually tracks your body weight. If you don't eat enough, you become malnourished and lose weight. Eat too much and you become obese. And of course, the deeper you go, the worse everything gets. You'll encounter landmines, jump pads that launch you, and strange structures that might contain useful loot. You also need to manage what you carry, and at the start you barely have any space. You get 2 hands, your upper back, your middle back, and your lower back. And yes, your mouth. It sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. Earlier I mentioned you need to watch your calories, but where do you even find food in a cave? Well, you can find stuff laying around or plants and occasionally meat from your comrades. Keep in mind that looking at them will drop morale. Food also rots, so you can't just hoard everything forever. The game also has a surprisingly deep crafting system. You can make pretty much anything you'll ever need, from rope made out of plants to antidepressants and shotgun ammo. I swear the last two things are not related. If you make it far enough down, you might encounter other survivors that are willing to trade with you. There's even a reputation system that lets you get things for a cheaper price. You can threaten the trader for a chance of getting a discount, or hug the trader for some reason. Another thing worth mentioning is the progression, or specifically the learning curve. Scav Prototype doesn't really hold your hand. There's no big tutorial telling you what to craft, what to eat, and what to avoid. It only teaches you the bare minimum. The rest you learn the hard way. Your first few runs are basically suffer simulator. You'll break bones, starve, bleed out, and die to traps you didn't even know existed. But the more you play, the more everything clicks into place. You start recognizing biome patterns. You start understanding what materials are worth grabbing and which ones are just extra weight. You learn which foods rot fast. And suddenly the game goes from feeling impossible to feeling rewarding. It's not grind progression, it's skill progression. You get better, you become more efficient, you start making smarter choices, and when you finally reach a new depth for the first time, it feels like you unlock something you genuinely earned. Not because the game handed you upgrades, but because you adapted. So basically it's like a roguelite, but the skills you unlock aren't in a skill tree, but rather simply you improving at the game. Why it's addicting. One of the funniest things about this game is that it really shouldn't be as addicting as it is. On paper it's simple, but when you actually play it, the loop hits way harder than you think. Every decision matters. Do you bring extra food or more tools? Do you sleep now or push deeper? And when you die, which you will, it never feels cheap. It feels like you almost made it, like if you had just managed your weight a little better or found one more plant, you could have gone deeper. And that almost is what keeps you coming back. There's also this natural risk versus reward thing happening constantly. If you push deeper, you might find new structures, rare items, or useful plants. But you know damn well that going down also means tripwires, landmines, and so on, and injuries you probably can't treat. It's the same kind of addicting loop you get from a roguelite, but instead of upgrading a skill tree, you're the one getting better. You learn how to prepare, you learn what items matter, you learn how to manage stress, morale, and weight. So the progression isn't on a menu, it's in your head. And that's why Scav Prototype sticks with you longer than you would expect. Before you even start the game, it sets the tone pretty brutally. Humanity has evolved technologically, but ethically, not so much. A powerful corporation begins experimenting with bioengineering, splicing human and animal DNA until they create a new species simply known as experiments. For years, these beings are tested on in private labs, but eventually the corporation wants something bigger, something more natural. So when they discover a grey planet filled with wildlife and a massive underground cave network, they see the perfect opportunity. Soon, thousands of specimens, buildings, and machines are shipped there, but due to a calibration error, large chunks of cargo end up deep inside the caves, including an important piece of experimental tech they absolutely did not want to lose. And instead of retrieving it themselves, they treat the situation like a new research opportunity. Shipment is cheap, and they have more than enough disposable bodies, so they send thousands of experiments into the caves, knowing most won't survive, and that's where you come in. You're not a hero. You aren't special. You're one unlucky specimen, and resisting is not an option. Everything I've said so far has been really positive, so it sucks that I need to bring up a negative, and this isn't about the game itself. The game is honestly great. It's about the community, specifically the roles with any kind of authority. I've been told by multiple people that some moderators are known to power trip mute people without clear reasons and generally act unprofessionally. And I even experienced some of that myself. Someone in the server got hacked, and their account started sending scam messages. The typical fake giveaway / casino stuff. The original message got deleted before I could screenshot it, but it looked something like this. But the real issue wasn't the scam message. It was how some of the moderators responded to it publicly. They said things like, and I quote, "Respectfully, what a stupid bitch. Actual born a dumbass behavior. Stay the F out. Mentally deficient behavior. Keep your poor monetary choice aura off my server." And one mod even jokingly said, "Unalive them." A friend of mine also mentioned getting server muted for no real reason. Now, engage with the community if you want. A lot of people there are fine, but I feel like giving a warning is the right thing to do. And again, this has nothing to do with the game. The game is fantastic. This is just something I think new players should be aware of. Scav Prototype isn't trying to be some massive groundbreaking survival game. And it doesn't need to be. It's simple, polished, and generally fun in a way that feels very intentional. Every mechanic has a purpose, every area feels thought out, and the atmosphere carries the whole experience more than you'd think. It's not doing anything crazy or overly complex, but it doesn't have to. It's a cool project that knows exactly what it wants to be. And the best part is that it's completely free. So if any of this sounded interesting, there's really no reason not to try it for yourself, so I'll leave a link to the game's download page in the description. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please do leave a like and or subscribe for more high quality video essays, and I'll see you next time. Bye.